cold and cloudy, but strong moisture advection at the surface.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another one of my videos. And in today's video, I'm going to be watching the Parkersburg tornado wall of death. I'm going to be reacting to a 17-minute video. I will put this video down description below and his channel. Go subscribe to him. I'm already subscribed. Let's watch this.
It's late May in 2008, and a family
Oh yeah, I remember that. Well, I wasn't alive during that time, actually.
is spending their Sunday afternoon at a local restaurant celebrating a recent graduation. After receiving a tornado warning, they go
Tornado warning? You mean a tornado emergency or something like that?
outside to check the oncoming storm, and a massive tornado is heading straight for them.
What? No, this can't. Wait, is this Iowa? My mom actually talked to me while we were in Parkersburg, out from our way to Grandma's. She said there was a tornado in this area, and she said, and I was scared. And, yeah. I was really scared about that. And I was like, what? I live in Iowa. I experienced a tornado, but not in our house, but I've seen a tornado in real life. So
With moments to spare, the family and restaurant staff rushed into the safest part of the restaurant, the
that is a
walk-in
good idea.
cooler. Six
Yep, that's a good idea.
kids and 8 adults huddled together as the violent tornado overtakes them.
Is that real? Is that the audio? Jeez, that was scary. That is crazy.
The storm system that spawned the Parkersburg tornado on May 25th actually began a few days earlier. On May 22nd, a strong mid-level trough
Before this video came out, he talked about the Windsor, Colorado. I think this was the date. Let me check.
overspread the western
Anyways, yeah, so
high plains. This mid-level trough would produce a low-pressure system at the surface, pulling moisture into the much higher terrain of eastern Colorado and western Kansas. In Colorado, a
Yep. I talked about that.
large and powerful tornado impacts the town of Windsor, killing 1.
Sorry. I didn't mean to say that, but I'm sorry for the one person that died.
200 miles to the east, a few other supercells produce multiple photogenic tornadoes, causing minimal harm.
Yeah, that's my tornado background, as like my Google background. I'll show y'all. See? Do you see the difference here? Do you see the difference? No, you don't.
As they move through the vast open plains of western Kansas. In the overnight hours, the massive system progresses, forming a newer, even more potent pattern on the 23rd.
How do you add that to your thing? Dude.
For a second day in a row, extreme shear overlaps an area of moist, unstable air. In response, the forecasters at the Storm Prediction Center issue a large, high-risk.
No wonder your name is High Risk Chris, not gonna lie. Actually, why?
Over western Kansas, and they couldn't have been more correct. 79 tornadoes touched
Oh, that F4?
down, mostly over western Kansas, with the strongest tornado being an EF4 near the town of
EF4, sorry.
Quinter, Kansas.
Oh, that's beautiful, dude.
The next day, on the 24th, the mid-level winds are slightly less potent than the previous 2 days. However, Mother Nature was restless, and a supercell in north-central Oklahoma puts down a handful of tornadoes, which, of course, is covered on live TV, thanks to Oklahoma's
That is so beautiful. beautiful, dude.
Unrivaled tornado culture.
Yep, that is true.
Been quite lucky with this so far.
After non-stop tornado action on the 22nd, 23rd, and 24th, you'd think the tornado chaos would subside, but yet again, the next day, the 500 millibar jet stream persists, overlapping a large region of moist air spanning most of Tornado Alley. The Storm Prediction Center initially puts two areas of heightened tornado potential, with the northern risk centered over Minnesota and Wisconsin. But as the day progresses, tornado risk in this area is extended southwards.
That's the day that spawned the Greenfield EF4 tornado. That was the risk zone.
Because of an extremely unique set of circumstances taking shape in northern Iowa, the Sunday morning started out cold and cloudy, but strong moisture advection at the surface begins midday. Modest dews in the 50s skyrocket into the 70s.
Yep. This is where I live. My home state is Iowa. I didn't experience it, but...
Meanwhile, to the north, there's a well-defined surface low transversing the North Dakota-Canada border into Minnesota, adding an extreme amount of spin into the atmosphere. And to make matters worse, a secondary low develops in southern Minnesota. And on top of all that, two different...
I have no idea what any of this means for like 2 minutes now, so...
Storm fronts develop in central Iowa, giving the storm exactly what it needs to produce a strong tornado. As clouds clear over Iowa, to most, this is just another beautiful late spring day. However, the sun bakes the moist, unstable air at the surface. The blue sky above their heads is like gasoline-soaked brush, and all it needs is a spark to set things ablaze.
That is hurting my eyes.
At 3 in the afternoon, a set of rogue gravity waves appear. These waves are like small ripples in a pond, slightly...
Wait.
A set of rogue gravity waves appear. These waves are like small ripples in
That is what it looks like before.
a pond, slightly
That's what it looks like after. So...
disrupting the different layers in the atmosphere. And these small ripples have huge consequences. The gravity waves trigger the formation of a group of storms in central Iowa. The storms slowly move across Iowa for an hour before the southern storm begins to dominate, and at 4:30, radar shows that the dominant storm forms a unique feature called a descending reflectivity core. As the downdraft falls to the ground, it
I have no idea what this means.
impinges the storm's inflow, constricting and tightening it, causing the inflow to dramatically intensify. Moments later, a hook forms on radar, and at 4:48 in the afternoon, a large tornado touches down south of Applington, Iowa. Before I talk about the Parkersburg tornado, I have to tell you about this game-changing product.
Wait, I'm just gonna skip that part, sorry. I don't want this.
Tornado just south of Applington, Iowa, a local
Alright.
less than a mile to the north.
Let's go, Hawkeyes! I like your name because it says Hawkeye 94. Let's go, Hawkeyes!
East of the circulation, records the tornado only moments after it forms.
It's on the ground.
It is.
That's not funny.
No, it's not funny.
Oh.
Even
You can hear the birds chirping.
though this might not look like a classic tornado, this is unquestionably the start of a tornado because of the swirling dust directly
That is true.
underneath a highly visible mesocyclone.
Holy shit.
Oop. Editor, blur that out quickly.
Let's get inside. Alright.
Eventually, the resident goes inside to take cover, but the tornado is just getting started, and it is now heading directly towards the town of Parkersburg. Meanwhile, Chief Deputy Tim Woltoff is on duty, patrolling the area with his 20-year-old son when he spots the tornado to his northwest.
Oh my. I'm speechless. I'm speechless.
His vehicle's dashcam captures this incredible view
Oh my gosh.
of the giant tornado as it closes in on town. Tim, along with other storm spotters in the area, report the massive tornado, and a tornado warning is issued for the town of Parkersburg. It's right at this time when a family celebrating graduation at Matt's Bar and Grill receives word of the tornado warning. They go outside to check because 9 out of 10 times nothing ever happens. This time was different. A massive wall of darkness is moving directly towards them.
You said that in the intro.
With only moments to act, they run inside and go to the safest spot, the restaurant's walk-in cooler. 6 kids
Who's driving?
and 8 adults huddle together, knowing these could be their very last moments.
Was that audio?
It's in Parkersburg. Everybody else out there?
The tornado begins to close the gap on the town, and the first building in the path on the west side of town is Parkersburg Lumber, a standard sheet metal industrial building. Seconds later, the tornado overtakes Parkersburg Lumber, shredding the sheet metal into tiny pieces, while also bending the thick steel frame I-beams.
What? That is EF5 damage.
The core of the tornado continues moving east along Highway 57. All buildings are completely demolished, and someone loses their life at a home next to the gas station. The tornado then overtakes Matt's Bar and Grill.
That's what it sounds like inside a EF5 tornado. That actually is scary.
Simultaneously, a man north of town is recording the tornado as it barrels into the west side of Parkersburg. A mile to the south, businesses and homes are shredded to pieces, forever changing the small Midwestern town.
Look at that stuff fly.
Look at that junk fly. Holy balls.
Despite taking a direct hit,
Editor, please cut that out too.
everyone in the restaurant survives the encounter. The quick thinking to take shelter in the walk-in cooler undoubtedly saves the lives of the family and restaurant staff. After impacting the bar, the tornado continues its march
Wait,
along Highway 57.
does the red thing, like the red outline houses, mean people died in those houses?
Extreme debris-filled winds of the tornado levels multiple homes, killing 3 more residents just south
That is true.
of the highway. On the other side of the highway is First National Bank, which has multiple security cams running as the tornado overtakes the building. One camera is recording outside,
Oh, I've seen this video.
and in the video you can see the dark mass of the tornado slowly consume a neighboring home. Inside, multiple security cameras capture the moment the tornado overtakes the bank, showing what the chaos inside of a tornado really looks like.
Oh my gosh.
At the
That is crazy.
same time, resident Miles Humphrey and his wife are escaping the tornado in their car. Miles stops to take a photo of the tornado right as it's over Parkersburg.
Oh my gosh.
Fortunately, Miles and his wife escaped the tornado to the east. However, the tornado is still moving through the heart of town, now overtaking Parkersburg High School. Large sections of the building's roof collapse, and classrooms are strewn into piles of debris.
Oh my, I'm speechless. I'm just actually speechless.
And while damage at the high school is bad, the building is located on the north side of the tornado, which is the weaker side. Even worse damage occurs to the south of the high school. Here, Richard and Ethel Mulder are on their way to their basement when the tornado hits at EF5 strength, killing both along with their neighbor. These homes are so damaged that concrete basement walls
No, this can't be true.
are cracked, and according to records, all the people who died here were sheltering in their basements.
Jeez.
In less than 2 minutes,
Wait, the pink is EF5.
the destructive winds of the tornado wiped out the southern third of town. After exiting the east side of town, the tornado moves over the Legend Trail golf course, leaving significant ground scouring, while spreading tiny shards of debris from the buildings in Parkersburg. The tornado continues east over a field, leaving a trench in the ground for over 1 mile, a feat rarely ever documented in
Gosh.
tornadoes.
You mean like in that year or in today?
Tornado sustains its immense strength as it crosses Beaver Creek, pulping the forest, now moving towards the neighboring town of New Hartford. As the tornado moves along 325th Street, it impacts a few buildings, claiming its 8th victim, Norman Buthian. The tornado keeps its due easterly course and is on track to miss the small town of New Hartford to the north, which is fortunate because the tornado was larger than the entire town. However, it was now closing in on another group of homes on Beaver Valley Road. The tornado first overtakes Oak Hill Cemetery, where hundreds of gravestones are shattered.
Sorry. Sorry everyone, my dog was in there.
Shattered to pieces. Immediately after the cemetery, the most violent winds on the south side of the tornado directly impact a home, sadly killing its 9th victim.
It's sad.
Lisa Bleeker, who was gruesomely killed by debris. Lisa's home is so violently destroyed,
Oh my gosh.
it practically ceases to exist. The only things left are a few cinder blocks and debris that had been crushed into
There's too much stuff.
tiny particles. The tornado continues east along the road, and right at this time, Doug Christensen captures a set of photos of the tornado.
That's scary.
These photos show the dark, evil beast as it's at peak strength north of New Hartford.
Too.
The tornado then deviates from its easterly course by turning to the north. This behavior is called an occlusion process, and it's a sign that the tornado is weakening. However, the tornado suddenly turns back to the south, showing that the occlusion process failed. This is rare. In most tornadoes, they turn to the north, and that's the last thing the tornado does. But it continues back on its easterly course, moving along Beaver Creek Road.
It says Beaver Valley Road, not Beaver Creek Road.
Fortunately, the tornado appears to have significantly weakened, as homes in this area show little signs of damage. The tornado then approaches the Cedar River, and right as it crosses the river, it tries to occlude again, but it fails the process for a second time, trekking
Gosh.
back east. The tornado is now on the northern side of the large town of Cedar Falls. A local
Oh, I've been there. I've went to Cedar Falls before.
records the tornado from their back porch. Visually, the tornado appears much weaker than it did earlier. Instead of a giant barrel-shaped tornado, it's now a dusty circulation with sporadic vortices. There is, however, another threat present. The winds wrapping around the backside of the tornado, known as the rear flank downdraft, are overspreading the north side of Cedar Falls, including the regional airport. These RFD winds are measured well in excess of 100 miles per hour, which are dangerous to anyone trapped outside, because at those speeds flying debris can be deadly.
Oh my god. That's scary.
After crossing Highway 218, the tornado persists over farm fields. For a third time, the tornado fails to occlude, and right as it crosses Highway 63, it has another erratic movement as it performs an abrupt S-curve, leaving this unique mark in the field.
Wow.
Shortly after, the tornado completes yet another loop, and for the 5th time, the tornado fails to die. At this point, the circulation was now north of the town of Dunkerton, exhibiting another strange behavior as it swells to a massive 1.2 miles wide, which is insanely impressive. Although damage here is relatively weak, soon after the tornado contracts in size, and after traveling over 40 miles in 70 minutes, killing 9 and injuring 70, the tornado finally dies southwest of Fairbank, Iowa. The tornado chaos had finally come to an
No, it isn't.
end for the people of Iowa. Just kidding.
Yep, I knew.
Minutes after the Parkersburg tornado dies, another tornado travels over 30 miles while being accompanied by a secondary anticyclonic tornado to the south. The The storm spawns yet another tornado before it completely outruns the unstable air and finally stops producing tornadoes. The sun sets, and the people of Iowa are left in darkness, having to recover from the tornado that devastated the town of Parkersburg. In the days following
That's sad, actually. That's actually sad.
the tornado, the community came together to help pick up the pieces, and it wasn't just the people of Parkersburg. People from all over northern Iowa showed up
My family did not help because, yeah, we weren't in northern Iowa.
to help. The town quickly established a mobile recovery center to help victims with their daily needs, and those without homes were swiftly adopted by their neighbors who still had shelter. Meteorologists from the National Weather Service came in to survey the damage, and it didn't take long before they determined that this tornado was way beyond EF3 strength, so a team of outside engineers was called in to assist the survey. Ultimately, they found that the damage from the tornado was consistent with the EF5 guidelines on both the east side of Parkersburg and the north side of New Hartford.
Wow.
In the months following, the National Weather Service launched an investigation of their actions from that day to see how they could improve moving forward. This investigation produced a lengthy 51-page report, and they found some interesting things. One finding was that their wording in the tornado warning prior to Parkersburg may have been slightly too modest, and the SPC outlook from the morning did not predict that a violent tornado was possible in Iowa, which are valid
But there was a 15% risk. Put 15% and 10% risk.
criticisms, but in my opinion, weather is so chaotic, you can't really blame a forecast, and things like the wording on a tornado warning are pretty inconsequential. The most crucial thing that can be done to save lives is to sound the tornado siren in time, warning the people downstream of the tornado to get to cover. And according to the report, the tornado sirens were in fact sounded. However, the two videos taken as the tornado is entering town do not have any sirens sounding. This is directly contradictory to the report, which states that the sirens were sounded 2 minutes prior to the tornado entering town. Regardless, this doesn't change the fact that 1/3 of the town of Parkersburg was destroyed, and 9 people lost their lives. And according to records, all the victims were in their basements when they died, so all of them seem to have been aware of the tornado, took action, but it still wasn't enough. Over the following years, Parkersburg made a full recovery, including the high school, the heart of town. To this day, the high school keeps a memorial of the tornado with a clock that stopped at the exact moment the tornado hit, 4:56 in the afternoon on May 25th, 2008.
It's crazy. That's it for today's video. Hope you guys have a great day, and see you guys in the next video. Bye!